Yo,
Hey, what's up, man?
hang on, let me switch off my music.
How are you, man?
Not too bad, yourself?
Okay, good. How's your had your breakfast already?
Coffee?
Coffee? All right, man. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers. Oh, Starbucks, ah.
Of course lah.
So you've
It's
gone
quite
out, got your Starbucks, and ready to go.
yes. I have to have my coffee fix in the morning, man.
Same here. I still,
Okay.
I'm guessing you're still working from home or on a split.
I'm working from home,
Hmm,
so yeah. So for me, it's free and easy. I do my stuff and and good to go.
cool.
So where are you now? In the office?
Yep, back in the
Okay.
office.
Back in the how's been how's the office like? So how's the schedule like? Do you all everyone full force or 50-50?
No, we still, I mean, some of us were back in the office,
Mm.
and some still working from home. Most of the creatives and the designers are working from home, and then the executives, the account servicing folks are in the office.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yep. All right, guys. Very good morning to everyone online. We are actually face on Facebook Live. So, yeah, so in this episode of Funky Fridays, we board the entrepreneur series. We catch up with Chief Strategist, founder of Anthology, Chris Leong Tokunari. So, can I call you Tokunari-san or Chris?
Can anything also get.
Anything will do. So I've launched this series of conversation in celebration of the 55th year of independence of Singapore, and this month is dedicated to the entrepreneurs of Singapore on their struggles, motivation, and success stories. So,
Yeah.
Chris, before we start, maybe can you tell us more about yourself?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm Singaporean. My name is Chris. I think you made most of the introductions already, right? So I am the chief strategist for and the founder of Anthology. We're a marketing integrated marketing agency. Pretty much focused on events. A lot of our portfolios around events. Been doing this for about 5 years now as Anthology, but I think my entrepreneurship journey started in 2006. Back then was called Addicted Entertainment. Kind of like we did a lot of events for Nokia with very music related type of events back in the day. And then in 2013, we kind of decided to take a different direction and kind of incorporated this company, rebranded it, calling it Anthology. And yeah, kind of we started off in 2013 doing concert promotion. So music's always been quite an integral part of my life and in my career. Started off with that, and then yeah, in 2016 we decided to come back to corporate, and it's been quite a roller coaster ride since. It's been quite yeah, lots of ups and downs. I would say right now it's a little bit on the low side, but yeah, keeping it going, and that's pretty much us.
Okay. You talk about in the having your foot in the entertainment scene. I
Mm.
could see a guitar at the back. So are you gonna play some riffs?
Hey,
So
you really don't want to spoil the camera and your microphone. Better not.
so what was that? A bass guitar or
No, it's just a Line 6 electric guitar.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Chris, so you said you move on from events, entertainment, now more corporate. So, what's the difference between, previously when you are doing events and now doing more corporate stuff? What are the differences or similarities that you can see?
I mean, essentially, whether you're doing whether you're doing conference or a concert, I think you're pretty much doing the same thing. At least that's what we believe in. Well, there's always, be it a speaker or a singer, you're always trying to connect with an audience
Mhm.
with whatever you have to say. whether it's through the form of music or a keynote. I think you're always trying to make the connection, and that's what we try to do for our clients, right? Whether they are singers or whether they are presenters, I think we try to, create something that will help bridge that connection between them and the audience. And whatever they're presenting or whatever ideas that they're sharing or inspirations through their music, I think that's what we do.
Mhm.
So I think that's the similarity that we have, or I find in this spectrum of work that we do.
Okay. So, coming back to anthology,
Yeah.
I've checked out the meaning of anthology. It says a published collection of poems or other pieces of writing.
Mm.
So, can you give us a background why you chose anthology?
Okay. To be honest with you, right, I wasn't really familiar with the word. I never really thought it existed. So, I remember this very vividly because, like, in the middle of the night, I woke up, and this was like, obviously when I was still working from home, doing some stuff. This was before incorporating anthology, and I woke up. I went to my study next door. This is 1:30 in the morning, and then I googled the word anthology. So to be honest with you, I didn't quite know. It just came to my mind in the middle of the night. I woke up and I went and googled, and it came out as the description was it was a collection of the best poems.
I see. So,
Yeah, and kind of designed my name card there and then. I actually took a screenshot of my old name card, and I thought I shared this, but I thought it was pretty apt. I think this was in 2013. I kind of, we saw this whole entire landscape evolving in a sense, and I thought it was about, I think we were moving to this whole collaborative, if I can say, collaborative era. So, I thought anthology made sense because, the intention of starting anthology or that company was about collaborating with other professionals. And, when we collaborate with others, it's really a collective, and then that's the collection of the best works. So we kind of changed the meaning a little bit too.
okay, but it's pretty apt at based on what you have actually described
Yeah.
anthology as. Okay, so I've checked your LinkedIn, and I think most of your career was in the creative industry,
Right.
and the creative industry has so many branches one could venture in. So, can you tell us what is more of your forte?
Well, I think, I mean, we like to tell stories, and I think, or convey other people's stories to the audience. We like to bridge that connection between, whoever has a story to tell to the audiences who are listeners. So I think that's what perhaps we are good at or what we enjoy, I'd say. So, but at the same time, I mean, music's always something close to my heart. I mean, at any time we have an opportunity to put together a concert, I think we would jump right at it. But I think, like I mentioned earlier, be it a conference or a concert, I think there's always that fun in trying to bridge that connection between audiences and yeah, whoever's up on stage. So I think that's what we're good at, or I think that's what we enjoy doing.
Mhm. So you started off as an entrepreneur from the start of your career, or do you work with a boss before that?
I worked for a boss. I mean, I think he really helped to shape my idea of what the event industry was about, or in fact, and he gave me the first taste of what putting together a concert was about. And so I used to work in a company called Music and Movement, and they used to manage a lot of artists. And one of the first projects that I managed was a concert in National Indoor Stadium, and just putting together and getting out on that floor was pretty. I think you kind of never look back. Like you kind of get hooked to that adrenaline or that sensation of putting together something and people rolling and stamping their feet. and kind of, yeah, got that thrill from there. And it's kind of been, well, I've been to other industries in between. Um, I, I signed on with the civil defense to be a firefighter for about 3 years.
Oh, okay.
I think that was a very good experience as well. Between 2010 and 2013, I actually ventured into the energy commodities market. I went into, doing coal mining, well, sales, marketing, doing that stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then 2013 came back, and it's been Anthology since.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the creative industry and the event industry, in Singapore, it's kind of a saturated, what I felt. So, what's your motivation, to venture into these industries to stake a claim of the pie?
Mm. I mean, so when we started in 2013, our objective, our goal was really to, um, we weren't intending to come back to the corporate event, kind of like event services. The intention was to come back and do concert promotion. And that was because I think, when we were doing, when I was, running Addicted Entertainment, my previous entertainment company, I think we cut a niche for ourselves, and I think we were one of the few companies that had access to these international artists. But fast forward like 5 years on, the whole landscape had changed, and we realized we were in this rat race with concert promotion, and I think it was a pretty challenging time for that industry, with a lot of different players, with not a very big market. So 2015, I attended an event, and um, I kind of noticed something about that particular event, and realized, like, certain things were still done in a very familiar way that it was done about 10 years ago. And, you kind of realize that some things haven't evolved yet. So I thought, hey, maybe there's a gap, for me to come back in and do something. And I think that's where we ventured in 2016 and 2015. We put together a team, and 2016 we kicked off our so-called corporate outreach. And yeah, I mean, I think it took a while to get real traction. But we had, a few good opportunities. We were very blessed with, we're very fortunate as well to land some big projects and accounts. And kind of like, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride since.
Okay. So,
It's yeah.
and what would the most memorable project or event that you have done thus far? Since you said about big events and so I was thinking how which one are the most memorable one?
Right. I think I mean, almost every event has a unique, you know, has left a unique impression. I think we can name a few, like, the first event that we did in Indonesia. I think that was something I was left with brown fingers for 2 weeks, because we're literally, staining the wood, making new wood look old, and, putting in the touches. And I think, back when I think those were really early days of the company. And, you really gotta, roll up your sleeves, and, get down on your floors, and really you're staining the floor, staining the walls, like doing stuff, together with your teammates. And I think that's really the journey and the beauty of events. You journey with the people next to you. um I think that was a good memory. I remember my first, I mean, like, I think when we first got Supreme Court event, and I don't think I'm, talking about this in any relation to anyone, but, the first, the opportunity that we got to put together, that's the series of Supreme Court event, was something, I mean, something special, because I think it felt like was to, in our own little way, we were contributing back to the nation. So I think that was also had its good memories, and, like, a special moment there. yeah, and landing, of course, Google account, doing, it was a bit of a long shot for us, but we met some of my ex-clients in there, and somehow we built that relationship, and it's been a wonderful relationship as well. Yeah, like I mean, we're very fortunate as well to have had very good clients as well. I mean, till this date, people, from my clients like from Bloomberg, they continue to support us. Like they give us a call once in a while and kind of encourage us. They know that we're going through a tough time, and I think we're trying to work something out. But it's nice, and I think that those are really memories that we have. And typically, it's those kind of journeys. Like almost, I would say, almost every other event has left a very unique impression. Um, yeah, and I think I can't quite say which one sticks out the most, but most recently, I think we did a project. I think um, that is really meaningful, and I think that it's called We Will Rise Again. I think it's nothing really to do with events. It's more of a video production, but the ability to tell somebody else's story. I think that was, I guess maybe that's, if I can say, one of the most meaningful projects with them.
Okay. So you mentioned about this project on We Will Rise Again. So coincidentally, the title of this conversation today is also We Will Rise Again. So is this some kind of movement which you've sort of started? Because I myself have jumped into the bandwagon and put a sticker onto my profile. We Will Rise Again. So is this your brainchild, and maybe can you tell us more about this?
Yeah, I mean, when this whole situation, this unveiled itself, right, early on, and maybe I think we started seeing this in February.
Yep.
And I think our industry started to get impacted as early as that. And you see other projects starting to come to a halt, or getting canceled or postponed. And then we were wondering asking ourselves and wondering, like, what do we do next? And kind of like, we want to keep that momentum going in a way, um, you know in our own way, contribute to to better the situation, I guess. So I think we started off with this. It was more so just a social media thing. We wanted to, in fact, I think almost every other day, or in fact, I think for the first few weeks, it was every day we were posting something that would encourage people. I think, everybody lives on social media these days. So I thought it was the best channel. And, we got our team together and said, hey, let's, just do a little, just do our part in a small way, give back. So it started with that. And then I think about 2 months in, I think we were asking ourselves, okay, what do we do next? How do we bring this to the next level? And I think that we came across a grant that STB was publishing. And, it was a content grant. And we said, hey, maybe we should level up our game instead of just a static post. And we were seeing that, through the analytics that, the video posts were doing even better. So we thought, okay, maybe we should come up with, maybe we should apply for that grant, right? And share some of these stories. And a lot of the focus was on the medical professionals, the frontliners, and really, we are so grateful for what they're doing. But we also wanted to, tell the stories of the rest of the people who are really, contributing in small and big ways during this crisis. The people like, we started thinking as a team, and we were identifying people like the cleaners who continue to keep our country clean, our bus drivers who continue to keep the country moving and busing people around, the stewardess, who are, being ambassadors at the hospitals, tour guides, tourist guides who are now who have become safe distancing ambassadors. I think we wanted to share these stories as well. The chefs, who are cooking up a meal, and these are really, uh, top level chefs. They were cooking up a meal for the foreign workers who were stuck in the dormitory, just to give them that sort of relief. We wanted to tell that story and in that way inspire people and kind of, give them that sense of hope through these stories that we will rise again from this situation.
Yeah, because I really felt the story came alive because it resonates with what I've seen thus far due to the COVID-19. Yeah, and I've also seen the series of videos, and I love the way the story was told. Like you said, from the cleaners to the chef to the air stewardess. The air stewardess is quite chill, though. Anyway, that's beside the point. So so moving forward, is video storytelling will be the next move forward for Anthology, because due to the pandemic, it's quite kind of standstill. The event industry is still picking up. So are you going to venture into such another branch of your Anthology?
Right. I mean, I think this whole storytelling venture, through the video format, started about a year ago. And we were kind of like, writing formats and stuff like that. And it just happened that fast forward a little bit, it was very opportune, to have, to that this grant came about. Right. And again, with the grant, it was also a long shot. But we put in our best efforts and kind of, paid off. They gave, STV gave us an opportunity to put together this series. And, I think it was also encouraging for the people, for my guys as well. And, I think we had a lot of fun putting the concept together, pitching it, and even producing it, and now seeing the product come to life. I think that's the power, and the power of these story, of these videos is that these human stories, human story has that power of inspiring others. I think that's something, we find meaningful, and if we can do more of that, we definitely want to. We're not going to limit ourselves, as we mentioned just now. I think it's how you look at it, right? Whether it's concerts, whether it's conference, whether it's a video production, I think we're all trying to tell a story. We're all trying to make a connection with the audience. I think that's what we want to do. We want to give hope. We want to give inspiration to others in these different forms. And I think it's not going to be limited to just the video platform, but obviously right now, video content is the highest consuming product, if I can say.
Yeah.
So making it's really accessible for people as well. So I think that's a very good medium if we truly want to bring a message across, like We Will Rise Again. And I think there are many other stories that we want to tell and we want to share, mostly human stories. I think we were working on other types of stories previously, and I think we're gonna kind of press on with that during this time. And yeah, share these stories, because I think it's really, when you tell these stories, people connect. People relate to that story, and they take away something from it, and I think that's something powerful.
Yeah. So the stories which I've seen thus far, it's right now on episode 4. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, well, I've been following. So how many episodes are there gonna be?
So actually, that is the last episode. So the fourth episode. So we produced 4 episodes, 4 6 to 8 minute episodes, and then there were 12 other 1-minuters. So each episode kind of featured three characters. So we started off with No Boundaries. And if you look at those stories like UK Sham, if you look at MBS, the MBS story, and it's all about the people that has and Kim Lim, and it's all about stories of people, not, getting out of their own comfort zone. There's no boundaries to what they can do if they set their mind to and they want to help others. So truly, like I think, interviewing like UK Sham was really inspiring. I think, I think you should interview him. I think he's got really good, like he studied philosophy, right? Um, and his viewpoint is really interesting. And he was a real big inspiration. And I'm really privileged to have had the opportunity to interview him, and especially the first episode. So drew a lot of inspiration from him, and we hope to do more projects with him, meaningful projects. Um, Second episode was with a smile. So we were featuring people like the stewardess that you like, um, the tourist guide, and also a staff from Rasa Sentosa. They're all in their profession. They have to smile, right?
Yeah.
And regardless of the situation, they have to put up a front. Whether it's people scolding them, or whether it's scolding. We've seen the abuse that the safe distancing ambassador gets, and but they still put on a front, and they put on a smile. Rasa Sentosa, I mean, it's turned into a stay home notice premise.
Yeah.
But yet like it's so different. They're not serving guests anymore, but they still put on a smile. They still so professional. So we wanted to tell the story and aptly call it With a Smile. People who bear through these challenging times. Iron Chef was our third episode. These are really, they are the epitome of the word Iron Chefs, right? I mean, iron-willed, to very, in every aspect. So we were featuring chefs from Kin, Straits Clan. They were the ones cooking for the dormitory workers who stuck. The foreign workers were stuck in the dormitory. We're featuring somebody from Pezzo who works just day and night just to provide food for the healthcare workers. I thought that was really amazing as well. Yeah, and who's the third one? Sorry, Bing, who cooks. That's also another amazing story, and he just wanted to help people. He wanted to feed people, and I think he's really one of the first few who just stepped out and, like, no questions asked. You need food, we'll give you. And I mean, he's also another very interesting entrepreneur. Yeah? I mean, like, he's only 28, and he's been running this, and he's even and through this pandemic, he started a foundation called Bang Who Cares. And if you listen to his story, it's just amazing, right? I mean, he probably calls himself the Bing, the Bing who cooks,
the Bing who cooks,
the Bing who's on fire. But he's got a heart, man. He's got a heart of gold. And just that sort of it takes that sort of character to just boldly go out and help people despite whatever situations, sacrifices that he has to make. And the last one is it's coming up. It's called Business as Usual. I wanted to end off with paying homage to your bus drivers, your cleaners, and also this special lady at Gardens by the Bay, horticulturist, who's really those places are not seeing any visitors, but they continue their work to prepare Singapore when it opens the doors again. I mean, just like the cleaners. I mean, we are known, the country is known to be a garden city, a very clean city, and it oftentimes we overlook these people, like the cleaners, right? And we wanted to really kind of feature their story, in a way, in our own way, say thank you to them. And even the bus drivers, right? They are truly our unsung heroes. So that's what, and that's how we want to wrap, to say that, hey, business as usual. We want to tell the world that we are ready to open our doors again.
Yep. So I think I think another title that you could also put in your LinkedIn as maybe you can put as storyteller. The stories are really good. So it sort of come alive. When people see it, and it's quite inspiring. In times like this. So it really helps to have something. Some positivity, amidst all the negativity of COVID-19. So it really helped, So I think you should, really push your video out, maybe go for some film festival or something, a short film festival. Yeah, in my previous 3 episodes, before this entrepreneur series were on mental health. So, and based on the conversation, especially during this COVID-19 period, many people are suffering, So as an entrepreneur, how do you ensure that your staff are well taken care of, during this period?
Right. I mean, the truth is, I mean, we've all been hit hard, and we all had to make certain difficult decisions. So we've not been spared of that. But I mean, we've also been very fortunate with very supportive people, and some of them, were very understanding in terms of the situation. And the team, we started off early on, especially I think as we went into circuit breaker, we thought it was very important for us to, as we were adjusting to working from home, I thought it was very important to connect, with each other. Even more so. So, but again, in some way, not that we had anticipated this at all, but we have this. We use this platform called Slack, right, at work, and we can create these channels, and we decided, create a channel called Say Hi. So every day we're gonna, we start off our day saying hi to each other. I mean, sometimes we encourage saying hi physically, but sometimes people are shy, so we just type, right? And that caught a bit of the movement, and we're just within the office. So I think we took the inspiration from that and say, okay, with circuit breaker, let's dedicate every Monday morning a time to meet. It was called a family meeting.
Okay.
So we were meeting every morning, and every week we'll do something different. Just to get our week, started. And I think in a way it was to really just check in on each other, make sure everyone was doing fine, and kind of start off the week in the right note. So we had projects like, I made a terrarium, and kind of a bit like a show and tell. It's a little taking inspiration from my 5-year-old kindergarten class, show and tell kind of thing. But I think we had fun, and one of our staff was doing TikTok dance, and I mean, I think it was just nothing really. There were times that we spoke more serious stuff. I mean, talked about, I think, also mental well-being. I think the previous week, somebody, one of our colleagues led us through a eye exercise, session, just because we're always looking at the screen.
Yeah.
And even after CB, we decided to continue this as well. So every Monday, we're still dedicating this as family time, just to talk about things. So I mean, yesterday we shared a little bit what's on your heart, lah. Right, and it's just a good time to just hear everybody, just hear how they're going, how they're doing, how they're coping. Just we go around. Back then was person by person on the monitor, just to see what they did over the weekend, or how they're feeling. I mean, I think yesterday was a little bit of that, just taking stock, lah, right, of what's happening in your life right now. I think that's really the time we are faced in, and I think it's important to just really, with all these things going on around us, I think it's important to just sometimes take stock of what we have in our lives. I think it's also good because sometimes we forget, with all these negativity, sometimes we forget that actually it's not so bad. It's we're actually many of us are in a very fortunate position. We still have, food in our tummies. We have income coming in. And I think sometimes it's important to just take stock of that, because there are people who are not as fortunate as us. So I think, I think that meeting, that Monday meetings are precious. Allows us to really, just hear what everybody's up to over the weekend. Yeah, and it's been, I think, if anything good has come out of circuit breaker, I think, that will be one of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, because I myself, my boss will actually connect with me every Tuesday to just check on me whether I've been to my workplace, because I'm not supposed to do that. So I have to have a background of my home to make sure that he believes that I am not at work. Yeah, I always love entrepreneur like yourself, and I always believe to succeed, we need to really hustle.
Mm.
Like you, when you are starting out, you go on all fours, like you mentioned about your first event in Indonesia, where
Yeah.
you got to stain the floor and whatnot. How was your first few years as an entrepreneur like?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's always challenging, but it's also very rewarding, right? And this whole, I think it's, the best way to describe it is a journey. And it's almost like you get to a destination and you go on a journey again, and you're aiming, or you're journeying to the next destination. And I think that's, essentially what it has, or what it has been so far. Don't think you ever get to the journey and then just say, okay, I'm done. I think it just continues. One of my colleagues said, there's always something to fix, and it's true to some extent. As an entrepreneur, there's always something to fix. And then there's always something to look forward to as well. Whether it's new people joining your team, new projects that you're working on, or the new level that we want to bring your team to. I think that's what I guess, as entrepreneur, in this journey, it has taught me. Yeah.
Okay, so as an entrepreneur yourself, also, what does success looks to you?
I think success has evolved, and it continues to evolve. I think there was one point, I mean, I think we were, I think, in my earlier ventures, I was like, okay, I want to make this amount of money by, this within this time frame. I think that was in my mid late 20s. You're kind of saying, oh, I want to meet that sort of revenue. I want to, my measurement of success is that, the scale of projects. And then it's kind of evolved, right? And you start to perhaps, and it's really with, um, situations where it has humbled us, especially, times like COVID. It's a really humbling experience, right? And you truly appreciate the people that stick by you. And I think that's how, maybe perhaps now, you measure success by, um, by that, in the sense where during, well, if I can say, when the shit hits the fan,
It's fine, it's fine.
who sticks with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's a measurement of success to some extent. The people you've looked after, and how you've helped people grow and impacted. That's also a measurement of success. I think slowly we're seeing our projects, we're able to, I think, people really appreciating the work that we do. There are people, the opportunities with companies approaching us to say, to be more of take a more consultant, a position as a consultant, rather than, oftentimes we are asked to pitch. So I think that's a validation of our work. that they see us as professionals. We come in and consult with them, meaning we have discussions, with very in-depth discussions, and we develop a project together rather than we just put an idea and pitch it across. And I think that's how we've evolved, and I think we see that as a validation of the work that we do, and I see that's the measurement of success, and we get to enjoy that with the team because our process have changed and has evolved. We've improved over time. We look back at our proposal and look at the proposals that we put together now, and it's very different. The concepts that we continue to develop, we feel like we keep pushing the boundaries, and I think that's also a measurement of success. The collaboration and the process that we have, it's enjoyable now, a lot more enjoyable now, and I think that's also how we can measure success.
Yeah.
So I think it's ever evolving in that
I agree.
sense, and we're always chasing to different things in that sense.
This is a mandatory question for every guest on Funky Fridays with Bo. So what do you always do on a Friday night? Any tips and recommendations? Say if I want to go for a dinner date, because you do events, corporate events a lot in restaurants, in everywhere. So can you give us some recommendations of where to go, for a date?
Right. I'm gonna. Oh, I mean, if you like craft, I like craft beer. So like craft beer places are mine. Like I love to go to Druggist. I like to go to Malt House. They have a nice variety. That's in Siglap. I like 1925 is in Juchet. It's a little place. They've got really excellent, local craft beer. I like, I like craft beer to the point that I want to know more, and I'm, gonna be brewing my own, thing, and that's probably gonna be my pastime on a Friday night. It's just a little not so exciting anymore. I think it's gone are the days of, partying, but they're good. They're good food places. I enjoy Fort Hong Kong Street. It's a good Spanish restaurant. I like Tommy Sushi if it's Japanese. If it's sushi that I wanna go out for. But generally, I like the hawker fare. Hokkien Mee, Old Airport Road, that kind of stuff. The kind of thing. Their clay pot rice. I think it's called 132 clay pot at Old Airport Road. I just think it's sublime. You just call them and say, "Hey, I'm gonna pick it up in 20 minutes." You go there, you pick it up, go home, and either a toffee apple cider or craft beer goes so good with clay pot, and that's kind of like my Friday these days.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. So yeah. So maybe we probably know all the listeners out there know what Chris have told you. If you can't catch what he what he has said, I will package this into a podcast, so you can actually listen to the podcast as well as in YouTube. I will publish this in YouTube as well, so you can tune in later if you want to hear what Chris has said. And this is the last question for you. So can you give us give an advice to the upcoming entrepreneur or those who want to start out on their own? Is there any advice for them?
Right. I mean, it's always a journey, and I think if you're mindful about your surroundings, I think it's always a good start. The people that you journey with, I think, makes and helps you become a better entrepreneur. So I think it's good. It's about the company that you keep, and people who are there to give you advice or be, that point of view that almost like a mirror, right? That's able to help you and shape you. I mean, I think oftentimes we think that as a leader, we just gotta continue to lead, and I think that's a large part of our work. But we also have to feed and improve ourselves, and I think that's where where the people around you matters the most. I draw inspiration from, a lot of people around me. I have very exceptional young people who have just wonderful work ethics, and creativity. And I think I think that is where we can draw, as entrepreneurs. And, I think we can help to lead them and shape them to be future leaders as well. Um, and I guess in a sense, you always it's something that I shared with the team just on Monday, and it's always about the sense of hope, right? I'm just gonna read this. I mean, so over the weekend, I was kind of like, trying to find Google the description of hope, right? And typically it's a desire with expectation of obtainment or fulfillment. But there was one particular description of hope, and it said, that I really liked, and it said, hope is commonly used to mean a wish. Its strength is the strength of the person's desire, right? And I think that's, when you have the desire, I think it's important to have the desire, to continue to have that desire to achieve something or to get to something. And that's what we kind of, I wanted to remind myself and the team that, we can accomplish anything, just like what we did with We Will Rise Again or any of our projects. When we have that desire, your hope can come true. And I think that's really, kind of sums up my journey as an entrepreneur, that, we keep hoping, even during these challenging times. I mean, it's, we can often be in despair and, surrender to the situation and our circumstances. But when we hope, and I think in a company, like, you can share that hope. And right now, I think in this situation, we're all sharing the hope that we'll come out of this better, stronger. And we keep that hope and we work towards that hope. That desire helps us achieve that hope, I think. Yeah, and I think we all need that, whether it's as entrepreneurs or as people, we just need that desire in our hearts. But it certainly helps in our journey as business owners.
Okay. Yep. I think that was quite a wonderful advice you have given to those upcoming entrepreneurs, or even people like myself. Hope is a good word. It's not, So I really hope the viewers out there, learn a thing or two. Like for me, I've learned a lot from just basically on our like 30 to 45-minute conversation with you. I've learned a lot of stuff, like your journey, as well as all the movement the movement that you have done, as well as the work that you have done and the advice that you have given to me. So I really hope everyone listening could listen, take something out of this conversation. And I really wish the best for your team, for yourself. So this is going to be the end of the conversation. Thank you so much for taking time in the Tuesday morning to talk to me, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks Hakim. I mean, thanks for doing this as well. I mean, like, I've seen, what you do, and it is an inspiration. You just, you put your mind to it and you do it. And, here you are putting together a live stream, a podcast, and that's really remarkable. And I think that's also an inspiration for us. And thanks for that, inspiring others as well.
Yeah.
And thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks, Chris. Thank you so much. And I'll catch up with you again when when everything is back to normal.
Yeah.
We can catch up with your craft beer, and I'll just drink Coke.
All right, we look forward to it. Maybe I'll try to brew some Coke.
All right, Chris. Thank you so much. All the best. Stay safe. Yeah. Bye.